Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play the Seventh Guest. Alright, after leaving you guys with that cliffhanger, let's go ahead and check out what's going on in that room now. But first, we get another animation of that ghost woman. Instead of this time, rather than pulling back and beckoning us, she's actually coming at us, which I found to be a little more scary as a kid. But anyways, let's go ahead and actually go into Martine's room now. Edward, you better not be doing anything funny in there. You're a married man. Edward? Now in this case, the room warps a little bit, just for like a creepy animation. We don't get a cutscene for coming in here. We do see that there's a puzzle to solve on this bed though. But let's take a quick look just to kind of make sure there's no other interactables. Nothing on this wall. Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Nope, there's really not too much we can actually do in this room. So let's go ahead and check out the puzzle that we have here.
Skipping threes and skipping fives. Perhaps that's how one derives the answer to this wordy tale. But you won't win. You're bound to fail.
Stoff is really, he's really stuck on these riddles. Now, he said skipping threes and fives. So the whole point of this is, if you kind of hover over, you can see what letters you can interact with. Clearly, we're going to need to make another message. In this case, though, our movement is tied to only moving 3 and 5, whether it's forward or backwards. So, since we're starting here on the arrow, we can start with T or E. If I press E, it's wrong.
I don't think so. Skipping threes and skipping fives. Perhaps that's how one derives the answer to this wordy tale. But you won't win. You're bound to fail.
Another example of failing puzzles in this game makes it take so long because you have to keep hearing Stoff taunt you. So let's get it correct this time.
There are stars in space, but no spaces are allowed here. Only stars.
Basically hinting that these stars are going to be your spaces between the words. So T, H.
What did Stoff mean by threes and fives?
Well, we've already figured it out. Now, I could go forward, but let's go backwards.
I can't just step anywhere.
The sky is ruddy your fate is bloody. Oftentimes you can try to make it rhyme, that'll help you figure it out.
Don't think you'll be so lucky next time.
I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time.
You know the others will try to beat us. But it doesn't have to be that way. Not if you and I work together. We can solve Stoff's puzzle. We can win. You can get what you want, Edward. What is it that you want? Edward, shall I try to guess? I know where the puzzles are to be solved. I know where the puzzles are. I'll take you there. But first...
The perfume. The smell. It's changing. I can't breathe. I feel sick.
I will give you everything. I will give you what you want.
So yeah, they have a very awkward, like, bang session, because that looked very weird. Now, I will warn you right now, you may want to have headphones on, or if you're listening to this, I'd say in public, but more so just if others can hear around you, just know, this is going to make some, noises you might not want others to hear. Rated M for mature. I actually don't remember what rating this game has. Oh, you know what? I have my CD jewel case with me right now. I don't see a rating on this. Adults only. I always found this amusing. It's just like, why was this in here? It's like, I mean, what they led up with the cutscene there, it's like, okay, they're going onto the bed. It's like, okay, I know what's gonna happen. But for some reason, they felt the need to put this in here too. Clicking this again just plays the same sound effect, and clearly they had some fun. So, let's get out of this room because, quite frankly, I feel disgusting. I feel dirty. I need to go take a nice cold shower. So let's go out back to the hallway and actually check out the room that's right across from them.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And oh, it's a maze. I remember doing something like this when I was a little girl. You have to follow it all the way to the center.
Now, I will touch upon that comment a little later, but for now, let's take a look at the rooms. This was, that was Eleanor, so this is Eleanor and Edward's room, although clearly Edward was having a little fun next door. Now, there's a door in the back here. There might be at least one other somewhere in the game. This is one you never actually get to go into. I just assume, I guess maybe it's just a closet. It doesn't show up on the map and you never actually get to go there. But we can take a closer look at this painting up here. We have a little animation with this. Not so nice animation. In my mind, this makes me think of kind of like a depiction of a paralysis demon. It's a thing where people sometimes have this thing called sleep paralysis. You wake up and you can't move. Like, you're awake, you're conscious, but you can't move. Like, your body's just paralyzed. It's kind of like you've half woken up, but not fully. And some people see and hear and experience some weird things when that happens. Some people describe the feeling of being able to not breathe, and some even say they see like a demon or some kind of creature like sitting on their chest, which they think is why they can't breathe. That's what my mind makes this think. That's what this makes me think of. I don't know if this is what that's actually depicting. But either way, very creepy, because he also just pulls out a knife and starts stabbing while this horse is just looking on. All while this nice little, like, music box thing is playing. So, let's leave that alone, because that's honestly quite creepy. Let's turn and see if there's anything else we can look at. Always love having big mirrors like this. I have no idea what's being said there. It sounds to me like it's a voice line being played backwards. So take that audio and play it backwards and maybe you'll hear something. But still creepy. Nothing else we can do with that though. We've got a top hat on there. And I think that's everything else for the room. So let's go ahead and take a look at what she was talking about here. We take a look at this rug, and it looks like, oh, okay, we've got a puzzle to solve here, right? But if you click on it, it slides away.
Don't you just love surprises?
Now, I always interpreted that as, it's like, oh, there's a puzzle here. Surprise! This is actually the puzzle. Especially with Stoff saying, you know, about surprises. We'll touch upon this a little later, though. For now, we have this bishop puzzle, which, kind of like the queen one, bishops, well, unlike the queen, bishops can only move diagonally. The goal of this one is we need to get the bishops to switch positions. We need all the white ones over here, the black ones over here. But much like the queen puzzle, they cannot be interacting with each other, meaning they cannot be crossing paths. So we have to make use of the limited spaces we have to move them around to get them swapped sides without ever actually crossing paths. So because they only move diagonally, you have the ones on like the white tiles and then the ones on the black tiles. If you can figure out one set of them, you can figure out the other set, because the two halves don't interact with each other since they're only moving diagonally. So this is one of the potentially more annoying puzzles. If you use some sound logic, you can kind of figure it out kind of quickly. As a kid, again, I kind of just brute forced it. I knew what I was trying to do, but trying to do it like in a very like specific way, I just kind of like just winged it. So I do have a plan of attack for this one here. In this case, if I click this piece, there's only one space it can move to, this one here. It can't move down here because then it's crossing paths with this one. So it just moved on its own. But for other ones, if I were to click them, this one is still, it can only move that way.
Which way should I go now?
But now clicking this one, it asks, which way do I go now? I can either move it back where it was, or I can actually move it up here now that this space is open since I moved this this black bishop. So we'll move this up here. This is one of the pieces of the puzzle of the game that also makes it take longer, because when you have a choice, it always has to ask the voice line, which way do I go now? It can't just go. It makes a puzzle that's already going to take a while take even longer.
Which way should I go now?
So, if it goes on long enough, I may employ
Which way should I go now?
using the speed up. For now, I think this one's small enough that I don't need to, but there is one down the line I know I'm going to speed up.
Which way should I go now?
Purely because it just takes way too long otherwise. So, we're going to keep swapping these things around here.
Which way should I go now?
You're going to constantly be opening up paths.
Which way should I go now?
Closing off again by moving the bishops around. You kind of just have to do it. So like in this case, I need to move this bishop back. You might think, well, it's like, well, why push it back? It's like, well, but I needed to temporarily move it in a spot to give me an opening elsewhere.
Which way should I go now?
It's a lot of temporarily placing pieces just because you need to, and then you'll bring it back. So you can't be hard stuck on breaking up part of the solution, because you need to, honestly,
Which way should I go now?
to make it work. Which is why this puzzle can be a little
Which
tough
way should I go now?
to do. So then next I need this piece to come down, and then this piece
Which
to now
way
go
should
in.
I go now?
So that one's not too bad. Now basically we can just apply the same logic to the other side, because it's the same motions we're going to need to, which is essentially mirrored. So if I were to take, let's see, this one here. Basically do the same steps I just
Which way
did,
should I go now?
just kind of flipped around now.
Which way should I go now?
Let's
Which way
see.
should I go now?
Which way should I go now? I don't know,
Which
Ego.
way should I go now?
Tell me. Let's see.
Which way should I go now?
Obviously, I did have to prepare for
Which
this
way should
one,
I go now?
because I did not want to get stuck trying to do this on the fly here. Now, this puzzle in particular is preset, right? It's a fixed position, it's a fixed solution you're trying to get to. We will encounter some puzzles that are not like this. They are puzzles that will have a
Which way should I go now?
a thing you're trying to get to, but it'll randomize the starting positions. So those can be a little tougher to deal with, since you can't just be like, oh, when you start this puzzle, do these motions. It's like, well,
Which way should I go now?
it's going to be different for everyone because it starts randomized. This doesn't. So like this one, you can have a proper
Which
solution
way should I go now?
and follow it every time. But we will encounter ones later where that's not the case.
Which way should I go now?
No!
Yes! Yes! M. Bison. Yes! Now, notice we solved this puzzle. We don't get a cutscene, which is very unusual. Most of them give you a cutscene. Usually something happens. Nothing happens here. We needed to solve this puzzle to progress the game ultimately, but I find it very odd. In playing through this game again in preparation for this, I was like, huh, there's no cutscene. I thought they always had one. And funny enough, for some reason, I can still click this. Like, did I not solve the puzzle? That's what I always thought as a kid. It's like, maybe I didn't fully solve it, but I can't interact with it anymore. So for now, we'll leave this a mystery, even though you may have figured it out by now. That we'll come back to later. For now, we'll just say, okay, we solved the bishop puzzle. Good enough. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Let me go ahead and actually get out to the hallway. And real quick, let's go ahead and check in on the map, actually, because we haven't done that in a while. So let's see what we have completed and unlocked so far. So you can see we've cleared out everything that we have access to on the first floor. Now, it may have been tough to see the animation, but I think it'll show when I actually come back to this one here. I think there's a little animation to show that this door is actually open. And actually, we can now peek downstairs to the basement where there's a maze, apparently. And then something else beyond that. If we click back up to the stairs here. So watch near that basement entrance. I think you'll see a little bit of a... There. It was very faint, but this color, this line kind of changes color just to signify that the door is open. And if we look at the second floor now, we've cleared everything up here. We're in the room. We were just here now. Nothing else is open to us. There's no puzzle in this actual hallway. This is one of the few things that won't get colored in because it's just a hallway. You know, I actually say that, but maybe I might be a liar about that. We'll come back to this later on in the game. For now, as far as we know, there's nothing else to actually solve up here. There's nothing down here at this end of the hallway. So with the top floor being complete, the only place we can go to right now is the basement. So let's do that. So let's go ahead and... Now again, because we came out of the menu, it kicked us back to the stationary hub spot for the second floor, which is at the top of the stairs. More Ghost Lady animations. She's very fond of this hallway in particular. You tend to see her pop up a bunch right here in this spot. I think there's at least one or two other spots that she also can show up. But that's mostly where you'll see her. So let's go ahead and actually travel back down to the kitchen. Now maybe we're going to get that cutscene that I was looking for. It's one of the few cutscenes that I don't exactly know when it shows up. Worst case scenario, if I have to edit it in later, maybe I'll do that. I'm hoping that we'll come across it naturally. And back to the kitchen we go. No, I didn't think it would because I think it would have shown up in practice otherwise. Alright, let's go ahead and finally check out this door that we ignored a while back. Because we did open this up a lot earlier. After we solved the can puzzle, we technically could have come in here. But there was something we hadn't seen yet.
Oh, I'm dying to see what you will do next.
Now, this is one of those slider puzzles, which you can see, okay, the goal is going to be to get through here. Now, you might think, I'll just be clever and slide this over.
Finding things a little
Grating. If you try to get clever and just move here, it's like, oh, well, this creates the opening. Oh, no, there are spikes there. So you need this piece to block that for you. You cannot...
Nothing ever seems to slide into place in this place.
You cannot shortcut your way around. Now, if you know how to do slider puzzles, this one is really simple. Really quick, easy puzzle. Because once you learn how to do a slider puzzle, they're all the same. Unless they change the rules somehow. I always think of it as working backwards. I need these pieces to be flipped, but I can't just put the bottom piece in necessarily in the top. So I'm kind of like working backwards. I'm going in this direction, getting these pieces aligned over here, bringing them into the spot that I need in the order that I need them in.
If I plan to get around this grate, I'll need to get around.
I bet you get around, Ego.
Great move. I have a bad feeling about this.
How does it feel to be the first living thing to set foot in these dungeons in, I can't remember how long.
Now it automatically moves us into this after solving the great puzzle. We are now in the maze. But I think what I want to do is, we're at time here, and now it automatically moved me. I think if I save here, I think it automatically kicks me back out. I don't think it keeps me in the maze. Let's check. We'll go ahead and make a save here. There are some parts of the game where there's at least a room or two where if I save in there thinking I'll be in there, it doesn't keep me there and kicks me out. Because if I return now, see, it doesn't remember because it's all kind of connected together. I have to do the great puzzle again. Not that it's a huge deal, but we'll go ahead and redo that and get back into the maze proper. But we will do that in the next video, and I'll show you how we're going to solve the maze. Since I've been teasing it this whole time, there actually is a way to do it proper to minimize the annoyance of it, because I'll show you what I mean by that in the next video. I'll see you then.